Yo, what's up? What's good? You are now tuned in to the Keys and Seeds podcast, where we discuss music, mental health, and spirituality from the perspective of Ken, the artist, as well as Ken, the person behind the art. And of course, if you support the pod, then you too are also Ken. Be sure to join the conversation and follow the pod at KeysXSeeds Pod. And as always, knowledge and kindness is key. This is episode, I'm not sure yet. And without further ado, let's jump into the episode. Welcome back to the pod, everyone. I'm not sure what episode this will be because I am not in my usual space of recording. I'm back home in Nap. And whenever I visit back home, it's for intentional reasons. For this visit, I came back home to celebrate my best friend, Ashanta, who just graduated from Butler's Pharmacy School. So shout out to my bestie. But of course, while here, I also wanted to be, as productive with my time as I could be. So I did book a space to get some interviews in. I have a list of people who I want on as guests. And of course, a lot of them are back home in my city. So shout out to I Create Studios for allowing me to use their space to record. And yeah, I've been talking about having guests on the pod. And I'm super excited to not only finally pick the brain of people who, whose brand, I'm a fan of, but also to just have conversations with people who I genuinely have relationships with in real life. So for this episode, this guest that I have is a creative and an artist like myself, but on a personal tip, this is my blood. This is my older brother. This is my twin. And yeah, I'm super excited to have this conversation because although we are siblings, we unfortunately didn't grow up in the same household. So I feel like as we get older and we've been more intentional about having conversations with each other, it really allows me to value our relationship even more. And like he has said before, our relationship ages like fine wine. So yeah, I really love this man. I value and appreciate our relationship a whole lot. So of course, just, as someone who, value and character-wise, because we are aligned and we do have great conversations, just off mic in general. But because he is an artist and a creative as well, of course, it was a no-brainer to have him on as one of my first guests. So the guest that I have on is my brother Darius, better known as DCAKS Machiavelli.
Yeah.
And that's my intro, and I will allow him to introduce himself. Let him let you guys know who he is and what he does.
Thank you for the nice introduction. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I go by the name DCAKS Machiavelli. Some may know me as Shooting the Fade. And if you know me personally, you know me as Darius or D. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for having me. I got mixed emotions because I'm so proud of you. You know what I mean? I don't know whether to be very family-oriented or be professional or whatever. But, thank you for having me.
Make sure both.
Yes.
Period. I'm, of course, super excited to have you on. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule because I know we both super busy.
Right.
Like you said, in addition to you doing music, you also cut hair.
Yeah.
So did you cut anybody's hair before coming in today?
Today?
When was your last cut?
No, I blocked all my schedule off to prep and get ready for sis, you know what I'm saying?
Period.
So, make sure I was available for sis.
Period.
I always try to come through when I can.
We love to see it. So touching into the music first.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to start it off like, how did you get into music? And how did you choose your artist name for the people who don't know?
How did I get into the music? It was just always in the family background, growing up, hearing music, you know what I'm saying, whether you paying attention to it or not. Yeah, happen to catch yourself in the moment, move into it type of deal. So, myself, I got into it with starting like dancing and stuff. So I used to be a dance choreographer in the city. I still dance. I'm going to forever dance and move and groove. But
for sure,
it was me being on an unsigned artist tour, and I got to see a lot of artists do their thing, and they inspired me to do so. And then at the same time, I had people was coming up to me that was like, man, you should add the music with the dancing and stuff, whatever, because one of my dreams and goals as a choreographer was to get like rappers to have backup dancers in their stuff. You know what I'm saying? To be, having a space for dancers in rap videos. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was just more so popular with slow R&B or whatnot, whatever. I think people felt like dancing couldn't fit in all spaces, but especially with rap though. So I think, merging with having that as a goal and then actually, you feel me, genuinely walking into being inspired, doing music, like I became that goal, that dream come true in a way. So
for sure.
But and then far as the rap name DCAKS Machiavelli, that came about my younger junior high, around that area. I had I still do, spiritually. I had a friend. I basically, joined the names off some brotherhood type shit. He's not here, unfortunately, anymore, but I was able to merge my name and then, his name together due to what he's taught me in a little bit of time frame that he was here, which was brotherhood. Because,
for sure.
Where I'm from, we grew up, if it's up, it's stuck. You know what I mean? It ain't no remorse. It ain't no give back, no forgiveness, no none of that. But, I got to experience with him when we had a fallout and clash. You feel me? He was a big man, came, hit me up the next day, was like, hey, man, what we got into was small, man. Like,
for sure.
Cut it out type shit. So, I'll forever cherish him giving me a different perspective in my life before he left. So,
For sure.
So that's how I came about with the DCAKS. And then he was also always talking about, man, yeah, Tupac alive, da 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 da. I was never a Tupac fan at all, you know what I'm saying? But he spoke on it so much to where, we had moments where he would have me come over to the computer screen and look, this is him right here in Cuba, whoop-de-wop, whatever. So, I'm like, then I wasn't paying it no mind, but like when he passed away, it made me kind of like, all right, because I wasn't a fan of the music, but when I got to really, I guess, study Pac as he spoke in his interviews and see his perspective through the stuff that he went through, he inspired me. So it was like, a double gift within a gift in a way, because it was like, damn, I relate with a lot of what he's expressing. So, I just kind of put two and two together, you feel me? This is my message. This is what I represent when I step, when you see me. And I try to continue, standing on that and, creating a community, because I feel like it can help the world in a way if we all have some type of compassion for him.
For sure.
Of just taking the page out of someone's book that we share life and experience with. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So for the people who don't know, DCAKS is your initial and then his initials,
yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
For sure.
D for Darius, you feel me? And CAKS for his initials. So
for sure. Rest in peace to bro.
Yes.
So, of course, as your sister, like I know that dancing was a huge part of your life at one point, but because just naturally how I am as a person, like I don't hold people hostage to their past. Like I'm so happy that you mentioned the fact that you used to dance, because that almost slipped my mind that was a part of, you feel me, your journey. So I do want to ask, how did you transition from that into the music? And like, was it a thing where like you kind of just like outgrew it? Like, do you like what is your relationship with dance now?
It's just something that I naturally do. I realized when I was doing it back then on like, big platforms and performing and competing and stuff, whatever.
Sure.
And even before I got to that point, like in high school, we were always, you feel me, dance battles and stuff, whatever. Every Friday, they'll have, a somewhat of a talent show. People would come up and we'll do our thing. But it was the people that rooted me. They requested me to go up there. And I'm like, what am I going to do, disappoint the people? Because I was never, like, I've always, with attention or the spotlight, I never knew what to do with it, I guess, until being in the moment. So I never really, at the beginning, had the courage to, dance for the public. But when they was like, damn, nigga, you dope. Keep doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or even other dancers will want to, either be a part of what I was doing once they, saw, to where it was like, yeah, let's create, you know what I'm saying? Let's inspire. So from me getting inspired, from people being inspired from dancing, made me do it more.
For sure.
To where, you know what I'm saying, like I said, when I went on the Unsigned Artist Tour.
For sure.
And seeing, rappers doing their thing, I was next to it in a genuine way. I wasn't even thinking about doing music, picking up a mic or whatnot, whatever.
Right.
But,
it's just another line of creativity.
Yeah, you feel me? So
For sure.
One day I was like, well, let me just give it a shot. Like, let me go through this process of recording and what else comes with this, do videos. All right, let me put this out and let me see how the people respond. And the way that they responded back to me, I was like, hey, y'all gonna keep me going into this too, because I love the feedback. If it can move you and do something for you, hey, why not continue to keep doing this? So,
do you incorporate the dance into the music?
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's
like when you perform and do videos?
Hand gestures, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, that's part of dance to me, you know what I'm saying? Body language is everything. So, and I think that's what I got. That's a perk from the dance background is the fact that I can synchronize the movement,
mannerism,
with, you know what I'm saying, with with the words that I'm speaking of. So, yeah. So, I think they just complement one another. So it was just kind of a no-brainer in a way at the end. For sure.
When you was heavy in your dance bag, and you probably already know this, I wanted to learn how to touch so bad.
Word.
Like, just as a little sister, like, I just thought what you was doing was just so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, all that you would do, I'm like, I want to learn how to do that. And like, so yeah, that was super dope. And I love the fact that you're able to still incorporate that into what you're doing now with the music. Mm-hmm. So with cutting hair, how did you get into that? What led you want to cut hair?
I'd be allowed to say, I would think every little boy once upon a time think like, oh shit, or at least try to cut their hair, or put see themselves as being a barber in a way, because we grow up and we groom ourselves and stuff, whatever. So of course I had that moment, but when I used to go to Warren, I used to have the whole cosmetology section over there and stuff, whatever. So the only thing back then, I was like, I'm not about to be in a class with a full of girls, you feel me? Back then, we was so self-conscious and stuff, or whatever, at least myself. I was like, nah, I'm cool. And even the background of my pops, our pops, he comes from that background, but it was like, nah, I gotta come into it in my own way, you know what I'm saying? Even though, like, pops suggested it back then, but it was like, back then I was more focused on the sports and stuff, type of deal. But fast forward to when I actually started doing it was, I needed a skill. The pandemic had happened, and then just my work history of just working and punching in the clock and dealing with, management, emotions. I'm like, man, look, I go home and pay bills just like you do, or I got a child just like you got. So, like, I don't mind working for somebody, but it's a respect thing. So the fact that I have a long line of history of feeling some type of way with working with somebody, you feel me? I'm like, man, it's time to basically be your own boss, pick up a trade, and the pandemic was perfect to go do that. So I ended up going to school. Shout out to Chicochi. And and I've been, gaining a true passion for it genuinely as I cut more and more and more, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So, yeah.
So I'm happy that you mentioned that you do have a child. In addition to all that you do, I'm sure the most important title or role that you have is the fact that you're a father. So how would you say now being a father has impacted you as a man, and how do you find that balance?
Man, when you have a little mini me, you gotta think to yourself like, man, what did I not have as a kid that I would want my child to have? You feel me? So, just contemplating on that emotion and thought alone, it's supposed to igniting you and fuel you to, go above and beyond and shoot for your purpose, So just the thought alone of knowing before my child even get here, knowing that I got one on the way, I got to prep for this, like, because, it ain't no book for it. It's not going to teach us, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So it's just, taking on the responsibility, knowing the fact that, this is your child and you wouldn't leave your child for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So my child inspired me to do everything that I do in life, you feel me? So
For sure.
yeah.
So because of who I know you are as a person, I've always known you to be someone who is very big on loyalty. So how important is that for you in knowing that, and we're not going to get, you know what I'm saying, too deep into it, but, knowing like, the fact that we all have separate relationships with each other in our family, like how important is it to you to still, like how important is family to you? Because I feel like that is something that's really important to you. And how do you find that balance between, you know what I'm saying, like being the same version of you for everybody?
For everybody. Hey, look, being a peacemaker, basically, you get a lot of wounds and scars from that, you know what I'm saying? Because, one side versus the other side may view like, because they'll put you in a position where you feel like you have to choose sides, but my conscience know better, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, we can pick up where we left off at any given moment, or we can create new memories, or we can, you know what I'm saying? We can live in the moment. We don't have to, dwell on the past that didn't, I don't know, because in a way it's like we're brought together. Like I feel like in this era, in this generation that we live in, like, we ain't the first, we ain't the last coming from a diverse family, you feel me? So to me, it was like, we connected in a way to where it's like, and then it's like, to me, it's like, if we pay attention to the history that came before us, this is what we supposed to be better than. So, and then when you narrow down the personal history that comes with your family, it's like, all right, it gives you like that measurement to conquer over. It's the challenge throughout the life, you feel me? So my whole thing is just not to be a statistic and a stereotype person. So I've always kept my mind and my heart open, you feel me? And I said, let me experience on my own and see how the relationship go. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to, be responsible with the relationships that I do have. And then, as a good person, you just hold, the next person accountable to whatever they were may be, what promises they may have, or, you know what I'm saying? So, I love every step, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is what helped me sleep at night, you know what I'm saying? As long as I do my part, you know what I mean? It's like, who can take that from you? You feel me? So
Exactly.
That's just kind of how I look at it, you know what I mean? It's just based it upon my personal relationships that I have with each individual, outside family and outside of family, you know what I'm saying? Rather it's friendship, because, you got friends be like, why you hang with such and such? They do such and such.
Right.
But it's still not, get tainted from the original belief of what your original thought is, and on top of the history that you build with someone. So
for sure. One thing I will say that I admire about you is the fact that you are the same you with everybody. Because I feel like, even when you are being, your authentic self, of course, you know what I'm saying, the version of me that I am with you is going to be, you know what I'm saying, the version of me that I am with, you know what I'm saying, maybe somebody else. And I feel like sometimes just based off of, the relationship that you have with people, of course, you might show up as a different version of yourself. But I feel like just from the outside looking in, like you come across as someone who's just very, like, just sure of who you are and unwavering, and, what you stand on, and like what you see is what you get. So I would say my question to you is, how do you stay grounded in that? Because the question that I plan to ask all of my guests, because I do speak about mental health and spirituality, like just naturally, like I feel like just outside looking in, even if I wasn't your sister, like just having conversations with you, like you seem like a very like grounded and like, you know what I'm saying, spiritually in tune, you know, person. So how would you say you stay grounded personally, and how important is mental wellness for you?
Taking my time. So the short answer is taking my time, a day at a time. Don't rush the process. Don't force it. You know, things develop on its own. Nature takes its course. So it's like, even if you don't have an answer in the moment, you know what I mean?
For sure.
It'll come to you by just knowing what you need to do in the moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
You sit there long enough, it's gonna come to you. You feel me? So within the process of working, the other questions that you had, answers will come. You know what I mean? Right. So, you know, I just take my time with everything. I beat at my own pace. No matter what somebody try to tell me on far as, which I'm open, meaning I'm not saying that I don't take criticism, and I don't think I'm perfect. You feel me? I've once had a thought process where I'm like, how the heck did I used to think like that? You know what I'm saying?
Growth.
So that's the reason, you know, and then when I see other people that do things in that nature, I don't judge due to the fact that, because I once thought like that, you feel me? But the difference is the fact I didn't act on those thoughts, negative thoughts, because I feel like thoughts can develop. So it's just taking your time and just trusting the process.
For sure. What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned from both your friend that passed and what is the biggest lesson you've learned from fatherhood?
I start from fatherhood, man. Look, when they say unconditionally love, like, that's what it takes. No matter what emotion you go through, no matter difference of, you know, how you may see it from the mother, or, you know,
For
like
sure.
you got to stick through with it. You know what I mean? Like, because you got to understand, you made this choice. You made this decision from the get-go. So don't switch up now when things get hard, or if it's not all peachy, you feel me? So that's one, you know, that builds character over the time. And then with my friendship, like I said earlier, it was just more so a brotherhood, you feel me? Just someone outside of my family teaching me something, you know, to where I'm like, okay, I can use that and I can pass that on. You feel me? You ain't got to necessarily just be one-track minded and just think, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I feel like a person shortens their lifespan with, you know, just cutting the switch off and not ever having an open heart to forgive.
For sure.
So, yeah.
For sure. So from your perspective, what would you say you value the most or you've learned from our relationship?
The genuine love that you know, you give me, and the spark in your eye that you give me makes me feel like, damn, I got a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? That right there fuels me. And I like the fact that, you know, like, we lay back, we chill. We share a lot of things in common with the art, you feel me? I like the fact that you're a bookworm. I like the fact that, you feel me, like, you push me in ways that you may not even know. But, like, that's the reason why I follow you, your work, just everything that you know, you present and how you display yourself. I salute you, sis. I'm really proud of you. So
thank you.
So just even like this, you feel me? Stuff like this. So, yeah.
Thank you.
No doubt.
So what would you say is next for you as far as the music, barbering? Like, how far do you want to take that? Like, what's next for you?
With the music, you know, I'm going to forever continue be working on it. I got a project coming soon. The plans is to release it this year, called Trappin' Love. Y'all be on the lookout for that. And with, you know, some other singles, you know, released. I feel like it's a single game in the music world. But, you know, the projects is to be appreciated. I just know with me personally, with working on a project, I wanted to give, you know, my every thought, my every emotion, you know, rather it's an EP or something that, you know what I mean? It's like, I appreciate it. I don't take nothing for granted for what I do. So, but yeah, Trapping Love is on its way. And then far as the barbering, you feel me? I see myself being a travel barber. So, you know, I have a market here, market wherever they want to call me on, you know what I'm saying? Social media can take you a lot of places. So, you know, I just plan on improving my quality and letting the work speak for itself.
For sure, for sure.
Ishmael.
So circling back to the Trapping Love title, can you expand on that more? How did that come about as a title?
Trapping
What's the inspo
Love.
behind that?
Trapping Love. N with the, you know, two N's as if it's a in-house stay type of thing. Like, you know, it's like, man, my life has mainly been narrowed down to relationship chronicles, you feel me? Because it's like how we were saying, like, I'm big on family, you feel me? So, you know, for that to be, you know, the high goal to have, and to have so many failure relationships along the way has taught me, it's taught me a lot. So I created and put it into art, basically, you feel me? So, you know, Trapping Love comes with just two people, you know, trying to have something. And if y'all don't beat that clock to basically have a balance between the two chemists that y'all bring together, that clock of y'all spending that time together can become toxic. So it's like, that's where the trap part comes from, to where, you feel me? But you in love with it, you feel me? You in love in every way, in shape or form that it displays. So it'll be touching on a lot of just relationship chronicles, situations, you feel me? To where, yeah, I feel like that's my lane, you know what I mean? I feel like I can really take a deep dive into that realm, and I feel like I can actually, you know, help people and inspire people to, you know, go about it in a mature way or be artful with it, you feel me? Because
For sure.
that's what love is, you feel me? You can create it however you want to have it, you know?
For sure. So 2 more questions before we wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
How would you say Indianapolis has helped impact and shape you, both, you know, just as a creative, as an entrepreneur, but also as a person? And do you ever see yourself moving?
Nap or nothing. Nap or nothing. You ain't nap, you ain't nothing. You feel
What made
me?
me think about it is the fact that we took a trip to Tennessee together, and we both loved it out
Cashville.
there. And we both talk about, you know, you possibly moving to Atlanta.
Yeah.
I know at one point you moved to California. So, like, do you ever see yourself, like, moving back out
Getting
the
up
city?
out.
And how would you say
Yeah.
both Nap and Cali has helped shaped you?
Word. Man, home is home. Home gonna always be home,
For sure.
especially family being here. So, but I know, you know, Indiana, Nap is a small medium market. You feel me? Although, you know, next year we supposed to be getting the All-Star weekend here. So
Yeah.
shout out to Nap for hosting that. But I feel like, you know, to be humble, I just feel like I'm bigger than where I come from. And originally
For
my
sure.
family not even from here, but I've grown to appreciate it. I feel like it's really a mellow, low-key place, depending on how you go about living your lifestyle here. I honestly feel like it's a real cool, chill place where you can raise a family and you can be cool. If you don't really want to do the extras, like, this is the place to
Right.
be, you feel me? So, like, it shaped my personality in a way to where, you feel me, Cali has always, you know, amped me up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
When
I've
I think
always-
of California, I think of just real, like, cool, laid back type of
Yeah.
vibes. And, like, your personality, like, it fits there.
Word, yeah. A lot of people always say that. You know, I don't know. It's spiritually, it's always pointing that direction to where, you feel me. Everything that I've had starting off in life started in Cali. I got my first residence in Cali, my first child in Cali. Not to glorify, but I got locked up for the first time. Never thought I would ever got locked up for the first time out in Cali. You know what I'm saying? So it's part of me in a way where it's shaped me to, you know, say, look, this is what your heart yearn and desire. So here you are. You feel me? All the movies that you done watched, Baby Boy and all that stuff, your life has turned out in a way like it. So it's like, you feel me?
And then too, like the conversations that we have, like, you know, just on the daily, like off mic, like, and I know that, you know what I'm saying, you're a fan of him too, but just the way that you think and like, you know, what you stand on, like, it definitely reminds me of Nip.
Word, okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How does it feel to share the same episode with Nip? Episode 1 on, what was it, Rhythm and Flow?
Yeah. You know, just for the listeners, of course, I plan on doing a more in-depth episode about that, but I didn't actually get to meet him. So, like me, like I was explaining to folks earlier off mic, that was my first time ever being in LA. So like as you were talking about first, of course, like that was my first time, you know, ever being on TV, performing in front of somebody famous. Of course, you know, like at that point, like I had done a few shows in the city, but like everything at that point was still new for me as an artist.
Right.
And I was explaining to someone, like with the show, they were doing auditions in Chicago too. So I'm like, why didn't y'all send me to Chicago? Like that's closer. That made more sense. But like, you know, God is in control of everything. And like, that was just, you know, so aligned. And I love the fact that, you know, regardless of what happened, like I was able to not only have that experience, but also having that experience of being in LA for the first time. Like I loved it out there. Like, you know, it's very beautiful out there. I don't know if I could ever live out there. Just because I feel like just the people, depending on where you are, like I just feel like, I don't know, no shade to LA, but I kind of just got, you know, superficial vibes. But, you know, you know what I'm saying? Everything not for everybody. So, but yeah, rest in peace to Nip. I would have definitely loved to have met him. I wish I could have. I want to visit the Marathon store, but I think they like closed all of that off now. And like, it's just very sad and unfortunate. I do know a few people personally who did go to the what's it called, 1500, the Sound Academy that he had out there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, like I know that was, you know, featured on the show. So, you know, of course, just to, you know what I'm saying, just be in that area of, you know what I'm saying, he once was, and, you know, just the area of, you know, just Hollywood and legends, and, you know what I'm saying, like I loved being able to just, you know, be immersed in that environment. So unfortunately I wasn't able to meet him, but in my audition I did perform in front of Snoop. So
I think yeah.
He was high as hell.
That's legendary.
But he was like, this shit hard. This shit dope. I'm like, nigga, you saying that to everybody. That nigga was just posted up chilling. But
living in the moment.
Yeah.
I can dig it. That's what's up.
For sure. But do you ever see yourself moving back to Cali? Or do you want to move anywhere else outside of that? And then we can wrap up.
Possibly. Yeah. If it got some business going there for me.
Tight.
For sure. So anywhere that, you know, as a calling where business is flowing for me, heck yeah. West Coast, I always had my heart for sure. Down south too for as sure. Well.
Like being in Atlanta, like a lot of people be looking for barbers.
Word, yeah.
Like just like, you know, like coming across like the different men that I meet, and like I know like they all be looking for a barber, and I be like, I wish I could give him my bro number. But of course you're not out there. But yeah.
It's a huge market out there for me, for any
sure.
barber.
For sure.
Any artist, too. So, down south, West Coast.
For sure. Okay. So, to wrap it up, because the pod is called the Keys and Seeds Podcast, I do want to ask every guest, what is a key that you have for the listeners that can be a seed that they can plant and water? Keys and seeds as advice to those tuned in.
Man.
It can be anything.
Hey, every day you wake up, it's a blessing to make it count. So do just that, make it count, never give up. You know what I mean? No matter how many responsibilities and task force that you got at hand, just keep knocking it out. When that thought comes to your mind, act on it. Because you know if you put it back there, you may not ever get back to it. So
for sure. One thing about it, to piggyback off of that, if God give you an idea and you don't do something with it, bro, definitely gonna give it to somebody else.
Facts,
and you
though.
gonna be sick when something that you knew you should have acted on, you see somebody else doing.
Yo, and don't get mad and jealous when you see a
Exactly.
motherfucker. Yeah,
Exactly.
true shit.
All right, twin. Thank you for taking the time to be on my pod.
Always. Thank you for
You know
having
it
me.
means the world to me.
Big love.
And thank you all for tuning in for yet another episode.
Hold up. Before we leave,
Oh, okay.
I did bring you a gift. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we had to bring the sunflower seeds.
Of course you bring sunflower seeds.
You feel me? And then, you know, I'm a fan of the pod, so
Period.
I couldn't find no Nas or
Thank
you know, Lauryn Hill, but hopefully, you know,
Somebody who listened,
enter
y'all.
the Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying?
You listen to the record collection episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
See?
had to, yeah.
See? This is somebody right here in the flesh that's tuned into the pod. So if you not tuned in, if you feel me hearing just a clip of this, make sure y'all tune in.
Tap in. Quit playing with sis, y'all heard?
Thank you to my twin for gifting me.
Big love, always.
And we was just talking about Wu-Tang and
For real.
imitating RZA character on Hulu.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
So yes, I love this. And this is the poster that we have back at Ratchet Studios. So in my regular pod setup, when y'all see most of my visuals, the poster behind me is the Woo. So
Thanks,
yes, thank you, bro.
It's my own anytime.
All right. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank y'all for tuning in. And we are out.
Deuce.